Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Say Report. I'm your host, Devon Decker, and joining me, my host companion, it's Sajan Sarowick. Hi, Sajan.
Hey, Dev. What's going on, man?
Not much. You know what? I know how I'm going to start this week's episode. I'm going to start this week's episode with, I played a game in early access, right? That was a whole thing I talked about last week, how I played a game in early access, but I didn't want to share the name of that game because of the fact it's in early access still. It's been like 2 years in early access. There's no expectation for a game getting released, huh? Like, just
no. I don't think that there's the infamous story of 7 Days to Die, which was an old Rust mod, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But it's a zombie game, right? And the idea is that in 7 day cycles, you kind of work up protecting a house, and then on the seventh day a horde comes, like that's the basic idea of the game, right? It has been in alpha and selling in alpha, like people have been putting money towards it since 2011. Wow. I think it's like famously it was not out. It may finally have a 1.0, like I say, in the year of 2026, because God, I hope so, but I think as of COVID, it still was not.
So it is no longer showing up as in early access on Steam.
Does it have a release date?
Release date of July 25th, 2024. So.
2024 is when it left. Yeah. That game. Yeah, that game has been around since at least 2011, 2010, I think. So
yeah.
The fact that its release date was 2024, and people were putting money into it, and it was one of those ones that, just like you're saying, like this idea that there was a lot of conversation around, like, is there an expectation here, right? I think Star Citizen is another example of that, right? Where people were putting like thousands of dollars into a game that was technically not done yet.
Yeah, there's one of them on Steam that I went into. Ex-Zodiac. I'll talk about that one because I've just written that game off. As much fun as I had with Ex-Zodiac, that's been in early access. I bought that in 2022. And I beat everything that was there, and other stuff has come out, and I'm like, I don't want to play you anymore. Sorry, Ex-Zodiac. But the reason I talk about this is I mentioned that I had been playing a beat-em-up that was in early access, and I wasn't going to give the name. And then, through kind of my own sheer idiocy, this is totally on Devon Decker, I ended up giving it so much free publicity last week, I feel like a fucking moron. Because, all right, so I'm not going to give the title of this game. If you saw me playing it on Discord and were one of the people who didn't ask me, ooh, what is that game you've been playing for the last 4 days? Then you know the name of it. And if you don't, then you can contact me directly and I will provide you with the information just like I did to everybody else. But one of the issues that I have with the game is that it's sort of a roguelike beat 'em up. I would compare it to Absalom, though Absalom released after it was in early access, so I don't know how that works out. Like, the little lizard from Hoppers? This was a fight I got into with somebody this morning. It's how I knew it was time to go to bed.
Yeah, okay. Where the hell are you going? Your brain just jumped three different topics.
Well, it's sort of the same sort of thing. But, Tom, the lizard from Hoppers, is he the lizard from Hoppers, or is he the lizard from Elio because he was introduced in that post-credit scene after Elio that was a teaser trailer for the film Hoppers? Because that's what I would like to... That's the question I have for you. And then we'll get back to the free publicity that I gave to that game that I'm still not going to say the name of.
I haven't seen the scene, so I can't really speak to this, but does it feel like it is a after-credit scene related to Elio, or does it just feel like it's just a preview? Because after-credits previews of things and like that was a thing back in the 90s and stuff, and especially on VHS tapes. So it didn't necessarily have to be connected to the movie. Right. In which case I wouldn't say that he's from that movie. But I haven't seen the scene. So is it implied that they take place within the same universe?
Well, they're Pixar films, so yes, but no. It does not feel like a continuation of Elio. It feels like its own distinct thing, and from Pixar, from Word of God, right? the creator's law, however, whatever the trope is actually called, right? Mouth of God, I think is what it is on TV tropes, where like the creator has stated that Goliath and Eliza Mazza never had any offspring together. So like you can have as much fun with your fanfic, but Greg Weisman has said it never happened, which like, of course not. Why would they be genetically compatible? Of course there's magic in that world. So I am everywhere right now. Little bit of behind the scenes. CJ told me we have a hard out, and I had so many things I wanted to talk about today, so I guess they've all just come together into a weird, like, amalgamation of me talking. So enjoy this episode of the Say Report. No, I'll get on track because thinking of it. But somebody asked, what is that lizard from? I was, like, in a stream this morning at 2 a.m., which I can't wait to tell you why I was awake at 2 a.m., Siege, and I'm actually excited about that one. And I'm like, well, he's from Hoppers. And then so it was like, no, he's from Elio. And I'm like, well, he's a Hoppers creation, like that was in the movie Hoppers. And then they're like, why don't we use a stinger at the end of Elio as a way to like preview Hoppers, like Siegen talked about, or like very relevant for the film that released this weekend, when Amazing Spider-Man 2 came out. After the credits, there was an extended trailer for Days of Future Past that like is not part of the movie. Like I was disappointed when I watched Amazing Spider-Man 2 at home, and then after the credits there was nothing, because I'm like, as far as I'm concerned, I'm supposed to see the scene in Vietnam from Days of Future Past right now. That's what I thought this was part of. So that lizard is definitely part of Elio, right? After Elio, they show the scene with Tom the Lizard just pushing the button like fucking crazy. But that character was from Hoppers, was used at the end of Elio as a teaser for the film Hoppers. I think Tom the Lizard is from the movie Hoppers. But somebody was very adamant this morning at 2 a.m. He's from Elio. And I'm like, the scene's from Elio, but he's a character from Hoppers.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to fight about this. Like I walked away from it. I was not up until 2 a.m. fighting about this. I was up at 2 a.m. This is a thing that happened in a chat room of a stream I was watching play UFO 50 at 2 a.m. And it was when I'm like, it's time to go to bed, Devon. Because this is, you know, the old How I Met Your Mother, nothing good happens after 2 a.m. Yeah, that did nothing good was happening after 2 a.m. for me. Someone was fighting with me about where Tom the Lizard came from. So yeah, but to go back to the game that I will not say the title of because it's in early access and I like it, but I don't want people to play it in early access because it's got the bones of a fantastic game. I have put 59 hours into the early access and I started it last Saturday. However, a lot of that time was after we finished recording last weekend. This is my problem with the game. This is what I've been trying to talk about this. So it's a roguelike, and one of the things that you unlock in the skill tree of every run is classes, and those classes give you like, passive sort of upgrades, and each of the characters that you can play as, eventually, here's the thing, it's such a convoluted way to get to what I have to talk about. First, you have to collect enough coins to unlock the training grounds. And then once the training grounds are unlocked, you can take on combo challenges as the characters. And if you do the first 5 combo challenges, you unlock a new class. Those classes make no fucking sense compared to the characters that they are tied to. That's the first thing I'm going to complain about here. Like, I don't understand why, like, the main character, like, the titular character of the game, she unlocks the Berserker class, and it's like, okay, I totally get that for her as a character. What I don't understand is why the Berserker class is about bladed weaponry. Because, yes, everybody has a weapon, and hers is an axe, but her character is more about non-bladed weapons. And so are Berserkers, right? Like, Berserkers are just brutes who are kind of set off to attack. Or am I thinking of berserkers incorrectly? I think of...
I mean,
yeah.
So berserkers traditionally come from like a warrior class, and so things like battle axes are pretty common weapons for them. Is that what your confusion is?
So I guess, yeah, that's it. I think partially where I'm having some issues with the berserker class being like that is Umaro from Final Fantasy VI, the Yeti, and that's going to be relevant. Amazing.
Yeah. I don't know if I would point to that as being kind of like a definitive.
It's not a good archetype.
Because,
right, yeah, it's just my first experience with it, so...
Yeah.
And I guess he does have a sort of bone weapon that sort of resembles a club or axe, which I guess berserkers also are known to use.
Basically, it's more about two-handed weaponry than anything else. If somebody has a berserker capability or is a berserker class of some kind, they are most likely also the kind of character that can handle a two-handed weapon. And in berserker mode, considering how little damage you take, this is getting into some deep D&D
that's fun.
Table talk.
Thank you, I love it.
But if you are in any type of berserker mode or playing a berserker class, part of the deal with that is that you can take less damage. You become a very good tank in that moment, right? And so like a two-handed weapon, which traditionally means then that you can't shield yourself, is kind of ideal, because the amount of damage you can do when you're already in a pretty defensive position, two-handed weaponry is pretty much the way to go. And so battle axe is definitely top of the list for most people. But things like clubs, found weaponry. There are a lot of games where if you're in that type of class, you can do things like pick up tables and shit like that. Double-headed like war axe is definitely something I would see in a berserker's hand.
Yeah, so she kind of uses like a hatchet.
Okay.
So I mean, it's still an axe, so I guess that I just don't think of her
big.
No,
or is it? Does it feel
not.
like it's like a
single
delicate?
hand. It's a single-handed weapon. She's awesome. Oh. She is probably my favorite character in the game. Though another character, I want people to know, I want people to play this game. I just don't want you to buy it in early access. What
are you worried is going to happen?
That it's gonna get worse, or that it's not gonna get better.
In what way? How? I don't how?
Mechanically, the game has some real flaws right now that need to be addressed still. The fact that it's still in early access makes sense to me, but it's more about the beat 'em up genre in general, where one bad experience with a beat 'em up game can totally sour you to that game forever.
So you don't want people to ruin the experience for themselves by playing a game that's not ready.
That's not finished. Yeah. The fact that the fact that Dale was willing to play again after our first session was a real surprise to me, because she was not happy. She's like, I don't like that the controls are not as responsive as these other ones. I'm like, and it's in early access. And she's like, still, we paid for this. If it were a demo, if it were a beta, these are the type of things I would expect, having invested money, and it's only $10, right? So it's not a lot of money, and I imagine that when the game releases in full, ready for primetime mode, it will be more than $10. So there is that, and I guess I prefer the fact that I'm let in that the game is early access, instead of the fact that most AAA games, really, you're buying an early access version of the game that then, through those people who are willing to shell out full price on release date, they fix the problems. Or they completely change the game because people hate it, like No Man's Sky or Cyberpunk. Or honestly, most of the big AAA games from the last decade or so.
Cyberpunk was not really changed so much as in there were some behind the scenes stuff that were fixed up, whereas No Man's Sky, they literally changed things like game loop and and messed with concepts and gave it a storyline and shit. There's so much stuff that they did to that where it is fundamentally not the same game, whereas
well, Cyberpunk
Cyberpunk is the same game, except the cars now actually drive on the road. Well,
I thought Cyberpunk, they did streamline the story a little bit, because when we first were playing it back in the Stadia days, it was very, very open world. Like
they
added a little bit of
one of the big things
linearity
is
to it.
no, you may be thinking about when the Idris Elba DLC came out, and it's one of those ones that is actually worked into the main story if you don't play the game first. Like if you were playing the game fresh, then you can actually do that DLC mission at some point earlier, and so in a lot of ways it added more very well put together, fleshed out content, and so a lot of people felt like, okay, this is finally starting to feel like a world that like I want to continue to be in. Because one of the biggest things that it was catching slack for was that it was kind of, for being as open world as you're pointing out, it didn't have much going on in it.
Yeah, it wasn't engaging at all. That's why I stopped playing it. Like like 100%.
Exactly.
That's
so
what
like
that was.
Yeah, some of that is definitely fixed by like the later DLCs that they put out, and I'm sure some of the fixes that they did. But like, you still are the same character, going through the same story, meeting the other same character. Keanu Reeves is still there, that kind of thing.
Oh, they didn't replace Keanu Reeves.
It's not like something like
Idris Elba?
Destiny, where they straight up fucking wrote out Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. Or, did they write out Peter Dinklage, or did they write out Stephen Fry? I thought it was Stephen Merchant, and then they replaced it with Dinklage, right?
No. It was Dinklage, and then they replaced it with Nolan North, I believe.
Was it Nolan North? I don't. The Destiny is like, I played it, but I stayed away from the behind the scenes stuff. Because, and that's me. That's just, I'll admit that's what I did.
Stephen Merchant, you're thinking he was in Portal 2, and he's not written out or replaced or anything like that. He's, replacement by Nolan North in 2015, August of 2015, with the Taken King expansion.
Understood. Well, thank you. So I thank you for showing that to me. But the thing I don't like, so you have to unlock the training mode, and then you do the 5 combos to unlock the classes that are tied to each character. And again, they feel just like a little bit off, like a little bit more tooling or anything like that. Like the Berserker class, you would think, I should be pairing this with the main character, but she doesn't really have things that take advantage of it. So it just feels like something else you're adding to your kit, not something that's going to make your character better. Which is weirdly how all of the classes I've unlocked through this combo system feel. Like, you'd think that they'd, like, sort of synergize with how the characters play in a beat-em-up. And it's a very robust beat-em-up. Like, combo-wise, you can be doing, like, 8, 9, 12 button presses for one of these combo challenges. It feels...
Well, and I think nowadays, item synergy is kind of expected as part of that equation, though, right?
Yeah.
Like the idea that, okay, with this character, I'm going to be looking for this particular type of weapon or this particular type of power up because that's what benefits this. I mean, that's just common game language, right?
Yes.
Right. So if you're not getting that, then that's a little bit of a plot hole.
Like there's things that are already unlocked. Like one of the characters. In their skill tree, one of the paths you can do is that every time you defeat an enemy, you create like a sigil on the ground. And if you stand in that sigil, you regain health. And then as you go down the skill tree, that can also like buff your speed, buff your defense, and things like that. And then one of the classes that's available from the beginning. This is not a class that you unlock. And if it is a class you unlock, I'm sorry. I unlocked it with the first character I ever unlocked classes with, and I just did not remember that this was the class. I will look into it. I will have that information, but I'm fairly certain it was available from the beginning. It's the healer class, and what the healer class does is anytime that character heals, it heals anyone else you're playing with. So essentially, you're sharing any healing you're doing, and they get buffs from their own healing sigil. So as long as you're killing stuff and then staying in that area where you did the sigil, you can make sure that your whole team is healed, which is awesome. Like, that is good character synergy. This is the character I want on my side if I'm playing with somebody. Or I'll gladly be the character if someone wants to use one of the other characters. Like, it really works. But the thing that doesn't work for me is this: you have to complete combo challenges in this beat 'em up to unlock things that like affect the main game.
Ooh.
Like, right? Like,
wait, like in what way? Like,
so to unlock those classes, you have to do the first 5 combo challenges as each of the characters. And then if you want to unlock, it's just costume colors to actually complete all of their combo challenges, which there's only 10 as of right now. I don't know if there'll be more once the game is like fully cooked and ready for prime time. But like that whole thing just feels a little bit strange to me. Like,
it's replayability.
Yeah.
It's meant for people to be coming back in, and for people 6 months from now to still have a reason to be coming back into it.
Yeah.
You know, especially because, like you said, more could come. So it's an easy way for them. You know, it's not a guaranteed way that they're going to go forward with the game, but nowadays every game is built with these kind of like backdoors into MMORPG territory. Every game has the possibility of like, yeah, and if we get bored, we'll throw a couple of servers at it for a few years and do an online mode. You know, and for some games that becomes huge. You know, like Elder Scrolls Online is like one of the biggest online communities these days, and it was really just kind of just a holdover until they could figure out what the hell they were doing in the Elder Scrolls universe. Right, but now it's become its own fucking juggernaut.
There will be
Whereas,
no
like,
Elder
you look at something
Scrolls
like
6.
Uncharted Online, right, where it was huge in Uncharted 2, but then 3, 4, the eventual side story that they did there, like none of those really had the same oomph that the Uncharted 2 Online really kind of promised. You know, so like that just fell away. But every game had to try it, and I think that that's kind of like part of the deal these days is like every game is building itself this opportunity to do that without having to do the extra step of actually doing it right now, because as we've talked about many times, the idea that they can just add it later, they can change the game as much as they want in perpetuity.
Yeah, it's true. He's not wrong. I mean, I don't know, but yeah. So anywho, after we finished last week's episode, I started that combo challenge as the main character, and I got all the way to the final combo challenge, and I just could not do it. In fact, all told, 3 hours of my time with this game are completing just that 10th challenge as the main character. But what I did not know is that it saves your progress. So, like, I just kept the game running whenever I took a break. And then in Discord, everybody saw Devon Decker's playing this game. And everybody's like, Devon, what is that game? It sounds so good. Is it about this? Is it about that? And I'm just like, oh, now I got to talk to people about this game that, like, I want people to play. I want this game to be successful. I really enjoy it, especially having completed 3 runs, which unlocks a secondary game mode that is very cool. Like, I'm sort of invested in this game a little bit, and I'm not sad about it. I'm just being sincere. And I want to make sure that it's as done as it can be. Like, it was better playing this weekend because we tweaked a little bit of the settings and everything and found why things were sluggish, why things were not as responsive as they should be. And, like, so we had a better experience. But, like, I just know so many people who have a bad experience with a beat-em-up who will never go back to them because of that. And it's because of the arcade nature of them, right? Back when it was the arcade, you wouldn't give your quarters to a game that was not a fun experience. It's why so few people saw past the first level of Outrun. Not to put Sega on blast, but, like, nobody understood Outrun, Sajin, at my local arcade. I just...
Oh, man.
Oh, so before I pick up either of the dangling segues that I have here, how have you been? What have you been up to?
I've been up to a lot, man. Been getting caught up on a ton of stuff. Saw Supergirl.
Okay, yeah, because it's available now for home viewing.
Yeah, and you know, it's a damn good film. It's a shame that more people didn't see it. I have not heard anybody personally that I know that has seen it. I'm sure that you can go online and find anybody saying all sorts of shit, but I have not known anybody personally that saw the movie that didn't enjoy it. Like they everyone I know that saw it liked it. The problem is that I know maybe 5 people out here that actually saw it.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I mean, I've certainly spoke with people who did not enjoy it, so they are out there. It's not just on the internet. Like, I was a little disappointed when I was talking to somebody at the bar, and he's like, what a snooze fest that was. And I'm like, did we see the same movie? Like, that's legitimately my response to Supergirl was a snooze fest.
Yeah,
is if
yeah,
we saw the same film. Because it's almost too kinetic in some ways.
Yeah, especially because it has the John Wick, like, dog plotline stuff with the added twist that the dog is actually still alive. And just like, spoiler alert, but also because everybody needs to know, like, Crypto the super dog is okay. Right?
Yeah.
like right, but that is the ticking clock of this movie. And like, the idea that you would sit there and even I can see feeling kind of like cheated by something like that and saying like that wasn't fair, but to say that it was boring is weird, because it shows a complete disconnect from, I think, a very good like building of character for all of these characters in this movie. Like, I don't understand what more you would need to be invested in making sure that this girl saves her dog. Like, what the fuck is like, what, like,
Yeah, like, honestly, all right, spoilers for Supergirl. The film has been out for at least a month. As of the time that we're recording this.
I mean, and it seems like anybody that's going to see it has
probably seen it. But I do like, well, I mean, there's a movie I was excited to talk about today that Siegen was like, that's the reason we have the heart out for this episode. And I'm like, well, I need to keep it all inside. I can't wait to talk about it, but I'll keep it inside for now. So talking about Supergirl is a wonderful way to like flex my comic muscles that I wanted to flex in this episode. Yeah, and it's Spider-Man 9, right? Which is, I don't know if it should be Spider-Man 10, Siegen. Like, to not get off of Supergirl too far, because Peter Parker was definitely in Madam Web just as a baby. So does that make
that's your argument? I was ready for you to give anything else, to be like Civil War or something. Like, no.
No, those don't count, because those are like side stories that feature him. He's been in 3 Avengers.
And Madam Web is not just a side story that barely features him.
Okay, so it's still Spider-Man 9. No, thank you. I'm glad that this is exactly how I wanted the conversation to go. This is what I was hoping for, and I'm glad that we still get to do this thing. But talking about Supergirl, like, legitimately, her dog is poisoned and she needs to save her dog. Also, with the beauty of he cannot be moved because Krypto is Kryptonian. So, like, all she'd have to do is take him to a yellow sun and there would be no problem. But the vet's like, if you move your dog will die. It needs to stay on this specific planet, and that will give you 72 hours, which, how fucking convenient is it that red sun planet Kara was drinking on to celebrate her birthday has the exact solar cycles as Earth. Like just super convenient.
Hey man, there's something about that sweet spot that allows for life, you know?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I'm like, so like, I half expected it to be like the 72-hour thing, and they're like, yeah, but like that's 72 of our hours, which are like 5 Earth hours long. There was no chance of you not getting your dog safe. You had so much time. like I almost like, if it had been... So the most important thing about Supergirl, I want to make sure we say this, is that it's not a James Gunn movie. James Gunn did not direct Supergirl. Craig Gillespie did. Right? Yeah, he also didn't write it. So James Gunn, he's only the Kevin Feige of the situation with this. Now, that does mean he got to put together what would be considered the studio cut in the past, where we didn't know the name of the guy in charge of the studio.
Right.
Like, it is James Gunn cut of a film that was written by, I should have her name, because it's important to delineate this stuff. I wasn't expecting to talk about Supergirl, so now I get to look up Supergirl and just vamp while I do.
Anna
Naguera. Anna Naguera is the writer. Craig Gillespie is the director. And just like, for the record, with Craig Gillespie as the director, his first film was Mr. Woodcock. But then he's also done things like I, Tonya, the Fright Night remake, which the day that we're recording this is the 41st anniversary of the release of the original Fright Night in 1985. So, like, just props to an incredible fucking movie. Lars and the Real Girl, The Finest Hours. Like, Craig Gillespie, he has the pedigree of being a pretty good director. He did the Dumb Money movie about the GameStop stock.
Oh, the one that just came out in the last couple of years.
Yeah. He was also the director of Cruella and $1 Million Arms, so he's worked with Disney. So, like, he's got experience, and he's got experience telling female-led stories.
Yeah.
So like I understand why he got Supergirl. It's not one of those situations where I'm like, why is this guy the Supergirl director? No, I get it. And in Aguera, I mean, it's her first like feature-length script, which a lot of people keep bringing up. But honestly, for her first go of it, it's a pretty cohesive film. The only thing that I would say is that like Kara has to save her dog is enough of a story beat for me. I don't need more than that. So the fact that like they keep giving it stakes, like this girl wants to avenge her family. Oh, the guy who killed her family, he's a human trafficker. Like
no,
like okay,
but you're forgetting that girl serves as kind of the audience XP.
Yes,
for us to meet Kara. So like we do need that for.
I'm not mad about her. I'm not mad about her. I'm just talking about the ever-stacking reasons why Kara is involved in the story that some people are like, why is she even involved in this? And it's like, how did you see the same movie as me? Like, I'm not going to say that like anymore, but it's just one of these situations where I hear the complaints and I'm just like, it's like you didn't like see the same film. I don't understand what you're taking away from the movie.
Usually in these types of situations these days, what you hear is like people talking about a lot about like, well, it didn't do this and it didn't do that. And I don't hear much of that. I don't understand what other people wanted from this movie. Like what could have made it work for them. It's almost like this movie was just not appealing to them, which is completely fair. Is fine. But like, it leads to a pretty weird shit situation at the moment where like Superman did well, right? Superman did really well, but now the second movie out of the gate for the new DC is this. And now people are looking at Lanterns and being like, is this going to be the savior? And it's like, oh my God, are we already having that conversation? Is it this like...
Yeah, I mean, we are. Like Supergirl... No, Superman is what I want to look at. I want to look at how Superman did. Because it did well, but I don't think it exceeded expectations.
I think it exceeded expectations. I think there were a lot of people that were expecting it to fall on its face because WB fell on its face. That doesn't mean that it did, like, superb by any means. But, like, I think there was definitely a moment where it could have broken bad and been a utter flop, and it wasn't that, Yeah. So in that case, I think it exceeded a lot of people's expectations.
True. I mean, it made, worldwide, it made $1,800 million. That's not bad. That's not bad, especially against the $225 million budget, like reported, right? And that's the reported, so we don't know what marketing or anything like that. But yeah, it's one of those ones where superhero fatigue has been like destroyed in this moment, and people are excited to see movies again. And part of the reason why people like Superman was it was hopeful. Everybody that I've talked to about that movie said they felt it was very hopeful, which was not my takeaway from it. I mean, not the first time. The first time I was a little disappointed. It was definitely a movie, but there were parts of it I didn't jive with. The second time I saw Superman, I got it. Like, not that I didn't. I got it. I understood what they were going for. Like, it was such a mystery that first time I sat in the theater to watch the first Superman film. And then I'm like, there's some cool stuff in this, right? Like, I really like this and that, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But then watching it the second time, I'm like, oh, okay, now I understand. Like, this is what this movie was supposed to be, now that I am freed of all my expectations that I brought into the theater with me. Supergirl, I didn't have many expectations, and I was, like I said, I felt it was better than it had any right to be. And then stepping out into the world and it being like, this movie's terrible. It's just Mad Max in space, which was a thing that I've heard a lot, and I'm like, there's that one part that's kind of Mad Maxy.
I definitely had a thought about Mad Max, but my exact thought was I really love the styling of this movie. It's like Mad Max meets like Blade Runner in a weird way.
Yeah,
it's
I like
like
that. I like
Mad
that a
Max
lot,
had a little bit more like cyberpunk to it, and like I really dug it. And and it does shift from planet to planet. They just spend a lot more of their time on that one particular planet that is very much in that vein. But like I don't know. I thought the styling in the movie was really cool. I thought the acting was extremely well done across the board. Momoa is like, it's so good to see him when he enjoys himself on screen.
It's true. It's you know what?
You know,
I will.
He's at that moment. He's at that moment where just getting to see him do something he wants to do is really fun to watch. But like, as we've learned with many an actor before him, like looking at you, Dwayne Johnson, at some point, you know, I don't know if you can survive on just like, I get to keep doing what I want to do. Like, the charm of that kind of wears off eventually.
I mean, you say that and I get it. I also, of the guys who like have done movies they've enjoyed and then wound up in movies that they seem to only be there for the paycheck, Momoa is my favorite one to watch in those situations. Like, he somehow...
No, I mean more the I mean more the public perception side of things.
Gotcha.
Like the ways that people have really started to turn on Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson because he keeps making movies he wants to make, and people are like, "Oh, fuck that guy," and it's like, what? Like, this is what every person in Hollywood does. I don't understand why like it's weird that he pushes himself. Like, yeah, okay, you could talk about how he is like over the top in some of the like ways in which he talks about his like he markets himself. But like that's pure wrestling.
Yeah,
baby.
it comes
like,
from where his background, man. Like,
yeah, like yes, of course. Every project he's working on is the best fucking project that's ever been made. He's gonna take over everything because if you're not aiming for the belt, what are you doing, right?
Exactly. You got to keep the crowd, right? And once you start to, you change it up, and he does change it up. Now I'm talking about like Jason Momoa clearly wanted to be Lobo in this film. He had fun being Lobo in this film. I don't know if he wanted to be Garrett the Garbage Man Garrison in Minecraft, but it was fun to watch him put any distaste he had for the project into the character. Like, I'm talking on like the craft way. Like, if he didn't want to be there, all of that came through in how much the character like didn't like where he was in his life. He used it exceptionally well in that particular film.
I don't even know if that's the case though, because like he seems like the kind of, because like the other role, right, obviously is Aquaman, and like he did seem to really enjoy his time as Aquaman. He was really adamant about doing things a certain way with that character because of how much he loved that character. Yeah. And you know, it fed into his whole environmentalist side too, right? Like as Aquaman, he gets to also then talk about like, you know, saving the ocean and shit. So I think that he really enjoyed that character. I think that Minecraft, he probably really enjoyed what he was doing there. I think there's going to become a moment though where if he's not either taking a break, like, and I only saying this because of what's going on kind of currently with John Cena, because John Cena has two different movies out, two different previews going around right now. Mm-hmm. Coyote versus Acme and Matchbox just released, right? Wasn't that the one that dropped? And with the release of Matchbox, there was a weird little, you know, pushback vibe, because there always is with this kind of shit of people being like, oh, another like goofy ass John Cena action movie this year, and it's like, because that's what he does. That's what he makes those kinds of movies. I don't understand where the right like this, but it's there, you know. And Momoa in this, I was like sitting there and I was watching him, and the very first thought I had was I was just like, oh man, he's chewing up scenery in the best way. I don't know if this character works much more than this. Like, isn't there supposed to be a Lobo movie or maybe a Lobo series or something that they're working towards?
So I don't know. I don't know what's happening with Lobo. I have stayed out of the DCU as much as I possibly can. I have interacted with it primarily through the 3 projects that we have so far, which is Creature Commandos, Superman, and Supergirl. And I know that we have some other things that we know are on the horizon, but like, Creature Commandos was so good. I can't get over how good it was. Right? And I guess technically Peacemaker Season 2, though also, have you seen Peacemaker Season 2? Speaking of John Cena, are you caught up with it at all?
Yeah, with the Nazi universe and all that. Yeah.
That also kind of felt like a rush job to close the door on Peacemaker so that we don't need to use him anymore. Like it, like I don't like. They've already said that we're not seeing any more Peacemaker stuff. That was really the only transplant that we've seen so far. I don't know what's going to happen with Matt Reeves. I'm excited for Clayface later this year, though, especially knowing what I now know about the Odyssey and the Cersei scene and the fact that that was all practical. Like, that's incredible to me. That's what I'm going to say. That whole scene was done practically with, like, clays and all sorts of, like, prosthetics. I'm excited now to see the Clayface movie. Because apparently, we got some technology that's fucking incredible for Hollywood to use. Will they use it? Only time will tell, Sitchin. And I'm not going to hold my breath.
Clayface looks wild. I am curious to see how it ties into any type of larger world, if it does. Like, the other thing is that, like, we're still in the early stages where, we may... I think that Gunn has even said this. There's going to be some projects that are not bigger world projects. Like, and Clayface feels like it's perfectly primed to be exactly one of those, because it sure as hell isn't Matt Reeves' universe. Like, Matt Reeves' universe has not gotten there yet. Wait until the Schumacher movie comes along, 4 movies in. But like, right now, Matt Reeves is still very focused on, like, a very on the boots on the ground, like, small world, not too fantastical. Yes, there's a serial killer on the loose, and yes, there's like a bombs going off on the dam and stuff, but it's not. We're not talking about, like, ghosts, right? We're not talking about, like, aliens yet. We're not talking about...
That just sounds like another Batman story cribbing from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Because The Dark Knight Rises uses an abandoned plot line from the original 1990 TMNT scripts. Like, catching all the cops underground, that was in the original 1990. That was part of Shredder's plan. Which I'm glad they got rid of it, but, like, that was the whole thing where they're like, oh, it's kind of weird, like, watching The Dark Knight Rises. And I mean, these are, like, real conversations that I've had with human beings who were working on that, and they're like, hey, that was what we were going to do in our movie, but we thought, like, that's just a little too difficult to believe that all of the police in New York would be trapped underground. It's a little hard to sell, but they did it in Batman, 12 years later.
Yeah,
22 years later. I'm just having fun. I'm just having fun with that. But then, like, yeah, bombs on the dam, that's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for the NES, my friend. That level that everybody hates.
Well, here's the thing. So, like, aside from Supergirl, the other thing that came out this week was that for me was Cape Crusader season 2.
Yes.
And I'm already a few episodes in on that.
I'm only one episode in.
So good.
That first episode, I'm like, so I guess if we're going to talk about Cape Crusader, the other thing that we need to talk about that after an extended period released its second season is X-Men 97. I have watched 0 episodes of X-Men 97 because I just have no recollection of how the first season ended. Like, it's one of those ones
I thought you had given up on the first season.
I finished the first season. Did I? Yeah, okay. I finished the first season. Maybe
no,
I didn't
I thought
finish
you liked I thought you had liked an early arc in it, so you were giving it a go, but then a couple of episodes into whatever the next arc was, you had just kind of given up on it, from my recollection. But I was not even watching it along with you at the time, so I couldn't tell you.
So I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, oh, season 2, I'll watch that, and then I'm like, what happened last season? Because, like, there's 1 or 2 things that I recall from the first. I didn't really like it. And then I also found some stuff about the creator, but then the creator was fired. So it's like, I find I'm okay with that if he was fired for some of the things that he said and did that they realized. Like, also while working on the show, it's not like a James Gunn, this guy tweeted something 10 years ago and he should be done. It was like active grooming that Bo DeMeo was doing online that got him fired. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but it came out, and then like a month afterwards, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll check out an episode of X-Men 97. And as I loaded it up, I'm like, I don't remember any of this. But Cape Crusader released on the 31st, so the 2 days before we're recording this, and I'm like, I'm stupid excited to go back to that world because of this and because of that. And then the first episode, not really revisiting any of those things I was already excited about, but taking the time to introduce at least 5 new plot lines that I cannot wait to see where the rest of this season goes with them. Like, sign me the fuck up.
It's really well done.
Like,
And I'm really, really enjoying like the world that it's building. Specifically, so I've been deep in the Batman stuff lately, right? I've talked a couple of times about how I was doing the Rocksteady games. Now I've gotten into the Telltale games. I'm on the second to last episode of the second game now on that. And one of the biggest things that it's been really interesting to watch is the different eras and the different styles of what the take on the Joker is, right? Because I think that what's really interesting is going backwards, right? Cape Crusader and even what was the other really latest version of him that I had been watching? But but Cape Crusader is a good example of this, where Joker. Absolute Batman. That was the other one.
Yeah.
Where Joker is just bad. Like we're not trying to find some deeper thing going on with him. We're not trying to unfortunately glorifying him. Maybe unintentionally is the better word, but like this idea that we have come back around to just being like, nope, Joker is just fucking unequivocally evil, right? And Cape Crusader is building something really interesting in that regard, especially now that I'm a few episodes in. And then like on the other side of that is Absolute Batman, where I don't want to like spoil too much, but there's been some revelations about how the Absolute like world is kind of built and like where it there's a lot of world building going on in the Absolute universe through the various lines right now, and the reveal of Absolute Joker lines up with some of the larger picture stuff in a way that hasn't been connected yet, but I'll be very surprised if it's not. For anybody that doesn't know, like I'm sure you've seen it and not even realized it, the Joker in the Absolute universe is just a straight up like demon. Like he is not human. Like there is no like it's an interesting take, but I think again connecting it to some of the larger stuff going on in the Absolute universe it'll make sense, as much sense as the Absolute universe ever will, I guess. But like the ways in which he is just, I mean, he's an evil force, and so that is what he is. He's evil. There's not like reasons to be like explored or to be contemplated, but no, right? Whereas like a little bit earlier, you look at like the Telltale series, and the entire like introduction of him in the first game as John Doe, and then the relationship that the entire second game, at least my version of it as I play through and make the choices I make, has been all about building a like working relationship with him before he knows who he really is. And like it's this whole thing about like he's not a good person in the game. It's not them trying to attempt to show how he like broke bad. He is not a good person by the time you meet him. But it is all about kind of starting to learn like how his mind works, which is an insane task with the Joker, obviously. Yeah. But that's why I think it takes a season and a half for them to even get to what I think they're inevitably going to say is you can't. but this idea that like you're starting to see like the ways he interacts with Harley, why he's so attracted to her as a concept, and what it means to him as a person in the world, and how he fits into things, and like what it was like being in Arkham for a bit, because that's how you meet him in the first game. Is Bruce ends up in Arkham and ends up rooming with the Joker, which is just a great episode. But like there's this kind of like exploration of the Joker, right? And then I'm not even like, we could point to Todd Phillips' Joker, right? And the ways in which that becomes almost like like it tries to make him sympathetic in a lot of ways, which is just fucking crazy. And like I don't know. I guess Todd Phillips has tried to say that wasn't his intention, and that he had hoped with the second movie showing how kind of like I don't know, cowardly he is or whatever, I guess.
And then people were real mad about that. People were real upset that the Joker wasn't a demon, essentially. Right? Right. What do you mean? It could just be spoilers for Folie à Deux, a movie that you probably haven't seen, and that's because you never want to. He dies at the end. And like not gracefully. People were mad about that. Like
no, yeah, right. Like there's a lot done in that movie to make him, Arthur Fleck specifically, very small by the end of that film. So like to Todd Phillips' like credit, he has come out and said that he never intended for the original Joker film of his to glorify the Joker as much as it clearly ended up doing, right? There are people out there that still like that'll be the poster on college walls for the next 20 years, I guarantee.
The new Scarface, baby.
Yeah. So like, so you have that, right? And then you get back into like the 80s and 90s, and it's so cartoonish. And so there's just like this like cycle of just watching what we're doing. And I'm really happy that the moment that we're at right now is that we've all settled on, no, the Joker is bad. We don't need to. I mean, there was even an arc about 10 years ago, a White Knight, I think was the name of it, all about how somehow he gets his sanity back for, and it's only a 6-issue story or something, if I'm remembering correctly, but he gets his sanity back and realizes all the bad that he's done. And like Bruce Batman is kind of like a side character keeping an eye on him the whole time, because obviously he doesn't trust what's going on. But like you learn about this whole thing, all this other stuff about his life or something. And I don't know if that ended up being other universe shit or whatever, but like, I don't know who wanted that, but from what I understand, it's a really interesting story. And I mean, there's a great Harley Quinn arc in the series about exactly that happening. But it makes a little bit more sense because it's after a huge event in which like he is extremely injured, so he just doesn't remember who he is for a while. Right. But like that, it is a little bit more. It's a little bit more interesting for me to watch because I'm not. They're not trying to make me like care.
Yeah.
There's been some really, really interesting moves with Joker throughout all of the years here of all of the Batmans that I've suddenly, I didn't even get into what Rocksteady did and how that kind of like solidified, because they did kind of by the end of their story turn him into more of a ethereal demon figure,
Yeah, which was cool. I actually dug that. I liked that part. I mean, I didn't finish
worked.
The game, but it worked for that game.
Like, yeah, for that universe, for that game, for those 3 games, I will say 4. I would even count Origins in this because fuck it, I really like Origins, and there's a lot of Joker in it. Like the main plot of it is the introduction of the Joker. So like, I think that is a pretty solid Batman story with some really interesting, but also at the same time, none of it is apologetic about who he is as a character. Yeah,
it's weird because like I really loved in Arkham Asylum his whole thing. I also liked how much that game was like, we're a video game, right? So at the end of this, you're going to fight a big Joker, and it's it's a video game. Like understand that like we had to do. It's like the Matrix game where the Wachowskis come out and they're like, so like how the movie actually ends, and that would like suck for a video game. So here we're gonna have you fight a 60-foot tall Agent Smith. Have fun. like
well, and it's better than the Matrix Online ending that doesn't end.
Right.
Nebuchadnezzar goes into the dark and then there's no the credits, there's not even like a credits roll. Like I think they didn't expect you to get that far.
Yeah. But I do. So I like that. I like that moment. I loved when Pixel Wachowskis came out to be like, we all agree that we're playing a video game right now, right? What's real fun in the video game? Fighting a giant monster. So we're going to put that at the end of this. We know it's not true to the Matrix. Are you going to complain about it? Because if you complain about it, you're the idiot. Because we're admitting to you that why we're doing it. And then I think one of the issues that I have like with Arkham City is that the Joker's storyline in that is such a coda to everything that happened in Arkham Asylum, and you have to wade through so much other stuff before you get that payoff. And it's like, that stuff is fun, but also like, it also feels like Arkham City missed the memo of, yeah, we're playing a video game. Because I specifically think about the fight against Ra's al Ghul, where like you just got the bat gun that like shoots. It's like a stun gun, right? It's what the heck? Like a taser. Like basically.
But are you talking about when you have to go into the whole, drinking the Lotus and then like going into the dream state?
Yeah, into the dream state, and you fight in the sand of him, and I'm like,
yes.
I didn't need all of the setup for this moment to happen, because the last game that's in this same series, the Joker drank a refined version of the serum that makes Bane super powerful and became Bane Joker, and it was incredible. And he fought like Wolverine for some reason, and I'm just like, it's a video game, so I forgive all of this.
Yeah. I think Arkham. I think Arkham Knight, as I've replayed it, I've come around heavy on really thinking that redeems a lot of like the criticisms that I ever had for that series are little, right? Because I've always loved that series, and I think that as I've played Arkham Knight again, I'm like, this is the game they always wanted to make, and looking at this game and thinking, yeah, this is. I wish that game was, I wish there was a more to that world that was not Suicide Squad.
Well, there's also Gotham Knights, and I got to say, having played Gotham Knights
Gotham Knights, though, has been so rejected by like the community and the creators. Like, there's been so much backlash against that like, because I get it. I was heavy into wanting to just kind of view it that way as well. But if anybody ever brings that shit up, people pile on them about how like Rocksteady said that's not it. Like, we know that can't be it because this happened. And it's like, oh my god, okay.
It's a way to play a Arkham style game. And while I don't love the loop of it, I don't love the weird, like, we're on a night's patrol. Loop. And that, no, the 4-character stuff is awesome. Weirdly, that part of it works for me. What does not work for me is that, like, okay, we're going out on patrol tonight. And then, like, maybe the next story mission will be there, or maybe you'll just patrol Gotham. And then once you return to the Watchtower, I don't think it's called the Watchtower. I think it's like the observatory.
Clock tower?
It's the clock tower. Because the Watchtower's JLA. But like once you return to the clock tower, they like assess how you did on that night protecting Gotham. Like, I understand that for a game loop. That type of stuff it's coded like mobile gaming for me, and it doesn't work for me. It doesn't excite me. Luigi's Mansion 2 has that same problem. Where, like, I would have preferred if I could just continue doing what I was doing. Not, okay, so you've gotten to this point, let's congratulate you for what you've done, and then you can go back into it. And I'm like, no, I just want to keep playing the game.
It's the hub and spoke style of game loop, where, like, the idea is that they want you to constantly be coming back, and this is what leads to a lot of stuff like roguelikes and stuff like that. But, Undermine is a really good example. I love that series, man. I've been playing a shit ton of that too when I'm not playing everything else. But like that idea that like you're coming back to a hub world in order to like turn your shit in, upgrade yourself a little bit, and then go back out. Like, that it's a very, very, very light roguelike, right? Yeah. Like, it is trying its hardest to kind of disguise itself from what it really is. But it's a game that, again, as we talked about earlier, it was designed because if it hooked, the idea of an online experience of you getting to go out as a team with your 3 friends, each of you a character in the Batman universe, and patrol Gotham, and like have that loop of getting to like upgrade, come back, be better, and then the promise that maybe at some point you'll get into like a story mission of some kind. Like, the appeal of that, I totally get. Like, I understand why you would go that way. Now, I haven't played the game, and I'm going to say I haven't played the game yet, because the more you talk about it, the more I feel like I want to play it now, which is the first time I think I've ever said this about that game. But this idea that, like, that if they don't execute on that, then that's an almost even bigger disappointment, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's, and I got to say, credit where credit's due onto why I played Gotham Knights. It is the cover of Livin' La Vida Loca. It came up while we were, like, just listening to Spotify. And I'm like, what is this from? Gotham Knights. And we looked it up, and Gotham Knights was $10. It is currently $70 on PlayStation. Do not pay $70.
I wonder how it plays Gotham on Steam, Knights. Or at least on my shitbox, but we'll see.
So I don't know. Like, don't pay that. $10 was the perfect price to pay. Because we wanted to see how that song related to the game. And the unfortunate thing is that it's kind of like you finished the tutorial and now you're like the whole game is open to you. So it's not like the credit song. Like, I thought like that was going to be the credit song for the game, and really it's the intro song. And I'm like, I haven't really played since I realized where Livin' La Vida Loca came from in that world. I'm just going to be honest about it.
Did they not do a PC version of Arkham Knights?
Gotham Knights.
Gotham Knights. That's
Yeah.
why I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no
Right,
worries.
because Arkham.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons that like it's not part of the world. And also, I'll say Suicide Squad kills.
It's only $8.99 right now.
There's disparity right there. Like, why is it still $70 on PlayStation? Is it on sale on Steam, or is that just the price?
Yeah. Okay. No. It's on sale. It's on sale on Steam, but it's one of those ones that I feel like is perpetually on sale because of the fact that it wasn't really well received. Yeah. So, but there's a big franchise sale right now with Batman with the new Lego Batman that just dropped. That looks so good.
It does look incredible.
Legacy of the Dark Knight.
It really looks good.
Yeah.
I just can't bring myself to jump back into the Lego world, man. Like what Lego, if not Imaginators, the Lego Dimensions really burned me out on Lego games.
The biggest thing for me is that it's Telltale, and I know I was singing their praises a moment ago with the ways that they were handling the Batman stuff in terms of the content, but like we've learned so much about the grind, especially on those Lego games and especially on those story-based games. I don't know if they even have their hands in anything else but that shit. But like they got really lucky in both worlds really early on. Walking Dead hit really big, and the Lego Star Wars series hit really big. Or was it Harry Potter? It might have been Harry Potter. Hit really big. It was either Star Wars or Harry Potter, because I remember specifically the conversation being that like the weird mechanic where you just kind of like wave your hands and shit comes together in a Lego form worked if you had like the Force or magic, right? Yeah. Like so, like it was really kind of in universe, really funny. And then people picked up on all the other charms of that series. But anyway, they got really big, and so they just bought into every fucking franchise they possibly could, and it led to huge amounts of burnout and stuff with the people behind the scenes. And so like I have a hard time recommending those games to people sometimes because of that. And I would hope that maybe that has not been the case lately because of the ways in which they got caught doing this shit years ago, but I have never heard anybody actually go back and see if this shit is still going on or not.
Well, like straight up, I have never played Red Dead Redemption 2 because of all of the crunch details that came out about getting that game done. I'm sort of like excited to try Grand Theft Auto 6, but I would need to find tangible proof that those people were not like worked to the bone on that game, outside of the fact that it's been almost 20 years since Grand Theft Auto 5. Like I need like tangible evidence that they did not crunch those people to death the way they did on Red Dead Redemption 2. Quote, so that the horse's balls, shrink properly with the weather and the temperature. Like that was the story.
Or the shadow swings correctly. Yeah. Right? Wasn't that one of the other?
Yeah, like that type of stuff. Like, because I got to tell you, I mean, I've never really bought into a Grand Theft Auto game, but Grand Theft Auto 6 is a game that has caught the attention of like my mother, where she's like, it just looks so realistic, and I kind of want to like play it like a sitcom or like an hour-long drama on the television, where once a night, like we all sit down and we play for 60 minutes and we see what happens with our story in Grand Theft Auto 6, and we go from there. Like,
I would love to see you guys commit to that kind of discipline, to be honest.
Yeah. It's a thing that we're legitimately discussing. But, like, still the hurdle that I have to get over is, like, I'll never play Red Dead Redemption 2, a game that I was stupid excited for, because I've been on the Red Dead train since Revolver. Red Dead Revolver PS2 was my jam.
That wasn't even Rockstar at the time, though, right? Wasn't Red Dead Revolver a different company, and then it got bought by Rockstar?
I think they published it, is how it works. Yeah. So then they were able to pick it up. Developed by Rockstar San Diego and then published by Rockstar Games. So, it started as Angel Studios working on it, and then they acquired it.
That's what it was.
So that's the whole thing of it. And it was Rockstar San Diego, so it wasn't their main office. So it was sort of like, the West Coast Avengers who developed that game.
Yeah, but it's one of those things where like people really think about Rockstar for Grand Theft Auto, and you should. I'm not saying that that's like wrong, but really the game that's really truly in their DNA has always been the Red Dead series, and so like that is why Red Dead Redemption 2 and what will inevitably be Red Dead Redemption 3 are going to be highly regarded games. Like, I can tell you right now, no matter what Red Dead Redemption 3 looks like, it is still going to be historically important in much the same way that you're talking about the new Grand Theft Auto is. They have established themselves as monumental releases, and there's just like nobody else doing that.
Yeah. And I'm talking like the Super Bowl ad from 2 years ago, like 2024 Super Bowl. There was an ad for Grand Theft Auto 6, and my mother's like, "When is this movie coming out?" And I was like, "This is a video game." She's like, "No, it's not. Those are real people." And I'm like, "No, this is a video game." Like, that's how good games can look. I know that you see some of the games I play and like, this looks like games you played when you were a kid, and you're not wrong. But like, some people are capable of doing incredible things with them. So yeah, so it's.
I wonder if there's a way to look back at like Rockstar and really kind of look at the ways in which the mechanics and the technical aspects of the games, if you know, because they've always been known for being controversial because of the topics, right?
Yes.
Even in the Red Dead games, like there's a lot of gunplay and like you're killing people and there's some slight racism all over the fucking world. But like, and that's true in Grand Theft Auto as well.
Yeah.
But there's this idea that like they're always going to kind of be remembered for the topics that they covered, and I think there's actually a really interesting story to look at some of the tech, right? Like in terms of the ways in which they did push this shit. And you know, even back in the day, the original Grand Theft Autos that were like top down were like the programming on those, right? Like the thinking going on in those and the ways in which like things had like physics to them in a really weird way. And if you could start to figure out the physics, you could figure out how to do things like set up like roadblocks and stuff. Like there was something really magical about kind of just like, how the hell did they figure this out? Like, everybody was too busy talking about the fact that like you were running away from the police and like running over pedestrians and beating up prostitutes, and rightly so, maybe. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if we should have been so up our asses about content back in the day, but like, there has definitely been some stuff that Rockstar has done that is just like, yeah, we maybe didn't need that in the world.
Questionable content. Yeah, it's out there. It's
yeah. Right. But like, I think that there's an interesting tech story there that I don't think anybody's ever talked about.
Yeah. I don't know. It's something. Before we get too far from it, Traveler's Tales does the Lego games. It's not Telltale. It's a different company.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Thank God.
So, yeah.
Well then, hey, play the new Batman game.
Yeah. Traveler's Tales, they did
remember...
Mickey Mania. Remember Mickey Mania? That game made me want to just break my controller
Traveler's
in half.
Tales. Is there not the big like TT? Is that Traveler's Tales though?
Yeah, Traveler's Tale is
was...
the big orange T and then the little blue teal T is Traveler's Tales. So they're different from Telltale games. Though Parent is TT Games, which is still a different holding company and not related to Telltale Games at all. So you could a little bit there. And then the other thing I want to make sure that we address before I get from it. So yeah, like Joker, just a bad guy. Joker, just evil. Everybody super excited that Skeletor, right? That like he wasn't Keldor most of the movie. That he was just Skeletor and he was just a dick. Like, I'm evil because it's fun to be evil. But then Supergirl, to tie all this up in a nice little bow, everybody was upset that Creme of the Yellow Hills was just a bad guy who enjoyed being a bad guy. Like,
but I think that's going to be part of Gunn's universe, right? When we talk about the Feige of it all. But because if you think about how fucking evil we talked about Luthor being in Superman, and about how he was just bad. I mean, that dude that gets killed, like, man. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yeah, you're right. You're not. So I don't know, but it's just a weird thing that, like, as all of these things are getting praise for, like, I love a villain who's just evil. We don't need the backstory. We don't need their tragic thing. I don't need to try to sympathize with them. Sometimes there is just evil in the world, and the good in the world has to do its best to stop it.
But that's what, like, oh my God. So, but that's missing the fucking forest for the trees, because he is pure evil, because the whole movie is about Kara trying to not let herself go that way, right? Yeah. And then the choice that she has at the end, where she's the one that decides to kill him and all of that, and that I mean, it is her it is her Man of Steel General Zod moment, and again, I'm not actually hearing anybody talk about the content of this movie. Everybody is either just like, I didn't see it, right? Like, well, okay, then like, there's no conversation to be had there. But there's like this thing that she's dealing with this whole movie, and the whole reason that she has this whole kind of back and forth with the kid about like the revenge and what that does to you and what it makes you when you finally take life and all of this stuff, and the fact that at the end we watch her do it is like the whole fucking point. And none of that matter. Like, all of that becomes convoluted and if they tried to make him anything more than just what he is, which is a fucking child slaver.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And like unfortunately, I've had too many conversations and heard too many takes that her killing him at the end of the film, remember we said spoilers, you were warned, it like completely undoes everything that she learns in the movie. And I'm like, no, right? If she let Ruthie kill him, that completely undoes the movie. But her sparing that child, having to hold the burden of taking that life, but then saying, I recognize that you should not exist in the world anymore to hurt more people, and I have the power to stop you, and I'm going to use that power. That's fucking Superman. That is the fucking issue of the Kryptonians. Because you have the power, and it's like, but when you start using that power, where does the line stop? Right?
And this is the conversation that they're building in the background with Jor-El, right? Yes. And we kind of got it pretty solidified in this. Anybody out there that was wondering if there was any question whether or not the shit was real in Superman, this movie pretty much sets in stone that no, he sent Superman, he sent Kal-El to Earth to conquer. Like, it is said by his fucking uncle, like he sent his son to conquer Earth. Like, it's okay. So like, that's gonna be the way that it is. And this idea that like,
my good friend David Krumholtz, by the way, not to drop a name, but
but like we learned from Kara's mom and dad, right? This idea that like they sent her specifically with this idea to like just be good, right? And it's this kind of really great moment and this wonderful line from her mother that they replay, where she says, you may not always do what's right, but do what's, or do good. Like, you're gonna make mistakes, you're gonna have to be tough when you don't want to be, and it's gonna suck, but like, do good. And so like, that is her coming to terms with that in that moment, and that whole moment where like, we talk about her stabbing this dude, she also fucking wrecks the rest of them. Like, let's not act like she didn't kill anybody else, right? There's a lot of death in that final moment, and it's all her. But like, she's looking at his situation, much like you said, where like, these people are these things, these humanoids, whatever you want to refer to them as, like, this is not, they're not good. There's nothing to be saved here. And so she just fucking wrecks them. And like, I don't think it's something that Superman could ever do, right? No. And I mean, like, she's not taking out a whole planet, although there, I think, plenty of stories where I think Kara actually is responsible for that kind of shit. Like,
she's malleable. Like, that's the other thing, is that Supergirl, by the very nature of the character and so many people who've written her, she's one of the most malleable forces in the DC universe. Yeah. So people being like, "How I hate that they had Supergirl kill somebody," and it's just like, so she's killed people before. She's not her cousin, like, at all.
She does not have the same code that Clark does. Like, and it's part of why she feels, I think in this, at least in this story, it seems like she feels like in some ways like she's a bit of a failure, because her parents sent her to be the good person, and here she is looking at the cousin that was sent to conquer these people, and he is actually this like perfect example of goodness, and she just can't live up to that. It's very much a living in Superman's shadow story, which is par for the course for Supergirl stories early on, right? Like, that whole thing. But like, there's just this really kind of like really beautiful arc for her that I think is defined by her choosing to do that stuff at the end, and like you said, not letting the other girl do it, like not letting Ruthie do it. by all accounts, Ruthie now gets to grow up and still be an innocent kid, despite everything that she's seen and dealt with.
And the fact that she's going to go on the rest of her birthday bender. Ruthie's going to see some shit, Sejan, outside of the shit we already know she's seen.
I believe, she comes back pretty damn sober.
They're not going to fucking Build-A-Bear, Sejan. They're not going to Build-A-Bear. I'm just saying. You know what? And just because I think the quote is worth saying in its entirety, just be good. That doesn't mean you can't be tough, and that doesn't mean you have to be nice, but you must be good. And that is awesome. That line is just so powerful. And I hate that nobody talks about the time where she's on that like protected bit of Krypton. Because it's not the Bottle City of Kandor, right? I don't remember the name of it.
Right.
But all of that stuff when she's on that like the refuge.
It's like Argo or something?
It is Argo. Maybe it's Argo. It's not Argus. That's the dog. Supergirl. I'm going to write Argo. Yeah, Argo City is the birthplace and childhood home of Kara Zor-El. Survives the destruction of Krypton and a protective dome as a drifting space fragment. Like that whole Argo City stuff, like that is like the stuff where I'm like, this is why this character's having such a hard fucking time. Like we saw what she lost, and then she meets her cousin and like, fuck this guy.
Yeah.
Right.
And like, I don't want to write off the CW Supergirl show. I was somebody that was a huge fan of the CW Arrowverse, still am. I was a huge fan of the CW Arrowverse. So the Supergirl stuff there was also super well done. They're just going in such a different direction this time around for so many reasons. First of all, in the show, they had done the whole, she was technically older than him, but then she got lost in the nth zone or whatever it is.
Negative zone.
And then by the time she lands, he's 20 years older all of a sudden. But so like that's like the CW version of that, CBS technically CW version of that, and then this is just something else entirely, doing the whole thing about her technically being born later and in this like weird bubbled off world that she even says, I didn't think about the fact that this was just not the world, like this was the world to me, and like and that is, you know, she doesn't grow up understanding like the idea that there is a way of things and stuff, and so she's trying to figure that out. Like, you know, and the only advice she has from her mother, as good as it is not the most straightforward. You know, it's not, sure as hell isn't go conquer the world, my son, which is a pretty straightforward command, I think. But like, but the one that she gets from her mother is much more vague, purposefully so. Yeah. And I don't know, it's a really complicated, beautifully complicated movie, and I think like, I can't believe this is a first-time writer for what you see going on in this movie in terms of, I don't think that there's any really cringy lines I can really point to. There's no weird moments where somebody says something out of character. I loved the language with Lobo. Like
Lobo's fantastic. And I think my favorite part about Lobo, because we haven't talked about him enough in this, but also that's appropriate for the Supergirl film, is like the complaint about Lobo is, oh, it's just like he slammed in there so that here's Lobo. We could say we had Lobo. And I'm like, but I like that. I like that Lobo wasn't the guy that she went to because she needed help. He's just a dude who occasionally their goals align, so they work together. It
felt like almost like an old Western.
Yeah.
Right? Like this whole movie felt like a Western.
Oh, yes.
Really.
Yeah.
And like this idea that like Lobo is just this other bounty hunter that's out there. He's Rooster Cogburn, right? He's Matt Damon in the remake of True Grit. He's that guy that's on the same side, like on the same goal, same path as you, but not necessarily aligned with you. And in fact, she gives him like a wide berth. Like she is really careful to not get in his way. She knows who it is immediately. She tries her best to try and stay out of it. She only gets into it with him when Rafik runs up to him to try and appeal to him in some way.
Yeah, like we're just gonna stay away from that guy because I know that guy. That guy's not worth our fucking time. And then Rafik, hey, help me! Oh, shut up, man! And then like, but other people are like. So she does that whole thing about, like, we don't want to deal with Lobo because Lobo's a fucking dickhead. Like, I don't, like, essentially, like, you know, TLDR of that scene. And then people are like, but then there she is talking to him. And I'm like, It's not like she just approached him. Things occurred that forced her into that conversation that were outside of her power. It's just...
Christopher Nolan just had a really interesting quote about this, actually. He said, I'm having a real hard time with all of these amateur critics out there, and or criticisms, amateur criticism. I think he didn't aim it at people. He aimed it at these like ideas that are floating around, where you're seeing a trope happen in a movie, and that instantly means that it's bad that it happened. And it's like, you're just seeing the mechanisms of a film. Like, this idea that, like, this is, yes, you're seeing how plots are built. That doesn't mean that it's poorly built. Like congratulations, you've figured out how we're going to get from point A to point B. And? And it's like, yeah.
I've been calling myself the plot whisperer since 2010. And now I love that there's better language to say, like, no, I just have really good media literacy. I'm very able to understand how the story is being told. And then I can anticipate based on what I know from other storytelling. I'm not upset about that.
Well, and this idea that something happens just because it's going to satisfy the audience. And I understand, like, there's definitely something to be talked about there in terms of, is it worth it or not, right? Because that can be cheaply done, or it can be very nicely done, beautifully done. But who cares that was the goal? Let's talk about the execution, right? Like, the goal in and of itself is not inherently bad. Oh, that's just there to please audiences. Well, fucking yeah. Like, you know, there are some movies out there made to hate their audiences. They ain't one of them. Supergirl is not a movie that wants the audience to not get along. Like,
it's actually kind of weird that the audience is so openly hostile towards the film when the film itself is just like, I'm just trying to be a fun superhero movie. Like, and everybody seems to agree with that. Like, everybody who I will talk to are these things that I hear where they will rip the movie apart. The, like, final salvo is, had this not been a Supergirl movie, I would have enjoyed it. And it's like, what? Why is that?
What the fuck does that mean?
So that means that you enjoyed the movie. But you're just like, but I want to be on the right side of history.
And when did we all have this reverence all of a sudden for Supergirl? Like, if that comes down to that whole, like, I don't want to gatekeep and say people are not allowed to have, like, fandoms even though they don't represent them all the time and shit like that. But when you come out with a statement like, if it wasn't a Supergirl movie, I think I might have enjoyed it. Okay, so what is it about the Supergirl ethos that you hold so dear that this movie didn't quite fit into that? Right? Like, that's the conversation that I'm missing. I'm not hearing anybody out there saying... Sorry.
No, what is it about the Supergirl, like, oeuvre that you're holding so sacred that DC itself has not held sacred? Right? Why?
Yeah,
why?
right.
Like, what? Like, she dated a horse, for Christ's sake. And I have no problem with that. But, like, there's Supergirl stories where she's dating a horse. That's a real thing. Look it up. She dated a horse.
He's a prince, isn't he?
Yeah, like, he's a human in a horse body, but still.
No, I don't even think it's a human thing. I think it is an equine race, isn't it? It's just that I think he's a prince of the equine race.
But it doesn't matter. He could be a prince or a street sweeper. Sooner or later, he sleeps with Kara Zor-El. I'm just saying, like, but where are you being like, there should be such reverence for this character that, like, by their own admissions, DC invented Supergirl so that they could have a female counterpart to Superman. Like, that's it. That's all it was. That's all these characters are, right? She-Thing, right? Why did Marvel do She-Thing? Why did She-Thing happen? She-Hulk, all of these things are just like, oh, we need a female version of the Hulk. We'll just put she. It's like, there's a Letterkenny about it, right? The Lady Shamrocks. Like, why are we the Lady Shamrocks? Why can't we just also be the Shamrocks? That's a good point. You bring up a good point.
Why am I Black Steve? Why don't we call him Wet Steve?
I made that joke about Huck Finn recently, where it's
oh god,
yeah, well, we're not gonna call White Jim, so
oh man,
it's the Deep South during the Civil War. Good times. Great oldies. But yeah, no, like Supergirl. And then, I mean, like, in terms of, like, just a lack of media literacy, I've already complained to it about you. But now that you've seen the movie, that somebody would watch that movie and think that Kara Zor-El was on a planet that was dual solar, red and yellow, so she could drink at night and get sober in the morning, like, you were just not paying attention to that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and which is also crazy because that is a plot point at one point in the movie, but it's far worse than what you just described.
Yeah,
that sounds like kind of the perfect thing for a Kryptonian. Like, if I were going to set up a Kryptonian resort, it would be yellow sun at night, yellow sun during the day. So you can actually feel the effects of all this alcohol we want to be selling you, but in the morning, you're not hungover.
You mean red sun at night?
Yeah, red sun night, yellow sun at day. Yeah. Yeah.
Red sun at night, Krypton's delight. Yeah, I get it.
Right. Yeah, you get it. There's the title of the episode because I wasn't sure what we were going to call this one. All right, so I did have some other things. I know we got a hard out, but I got some quick things. You get to choose your own adventure here, Sejin. Would you like to hear my latest adventures in the Decomp Recompilation world? Would you like to hear a brief review of some new Ninja Turtle figures I've picked up over the last week? Or do you want to talk about cryptids? All three will be discussed.
But you got to the end and you piqued my interest.
I did bury the lead. Okay. Sejin, hi, pop quiz jackass. How many Bigfoot sightings have there been in the state of Rhode Island since 1974?
9.
5. There are only 5 Bigfoot sightings in the state of Rhode Island. And the reason I know
huge.
Was that?
I knew it wasn't a big number. I knew it wasn't like, 50. Like, I knew it wasn't a big number. But
apparently, we do have our own variant of Bigfoot called, like, Rhodeyfoot.
No. I didn't know about that.
I didn't know about that character, right?
I did know Sasquatch. So I grew up with the understanding that Sasquatch was an Appalachian thing, and I had heard from time to time about the idea of like 1 or 2 appearing in other places in New England and stuff like that. I have since come to learn that it was really much more of a Northwest like territories thing, and it just has then kind of grown to have variants all over the country and stuff like that. But like the idea of a Rhode Islander claiming to have seen Bigfoot is actually not the wildest thing you could say to me right now.
No, of course not. Big Rhodey is what they call the Rhode Island variant of Bigfoot.
That just sounds like it's a sports mascot.
Yeah,
Big
right?
Rhodey.
I love Big Rhodey, right? He's just the ram, but he's also like Teen Wolf, which would totally track. So
he's driving while drinking a Miller Lite.
He's driving while playing freaking Edward 40 Hands. Yeah, Big Rhodey coming through. He's got 40s on his feet because they're so big. So on January 5th in Voluntown, Connecticut, a man from Westerly, Rhode Island claims to have seen Bigfoot sighting. So it's in Connecticut. So this does not even count towards the 5 Rhode Island sightings. It's in Voluntown, Connecticut at 1:45 a.m. on July 5th. And I have to be honest with everybody, I was a little nervous I might be this Bigfoot sighting. Because I was in Voluntown, Connecticut, early morning, July 5th.
You did stop by that 7-Eleven, and then when your hot dog rolled into the woods, you did look a little animalistic.
And then I had to pull over and use I had to rock a squirt, and I'm like, while I'm pulled over, I'm going to eat my hot dog from 7-Eleven. Oh no, it slipped out of the bun. But yeah, of course I crossed Pasco Road in 2 steps. I was chasing my hot dog. You know, if you buy 2 hot dogs, they're only $2 each. I had a very nice 7-Eleven experience. But I was, like, surprised that there's only been 5 Bigfoot sightings in Rhode Island. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I do love that, like, this year, 2026, there is somebody who claims that he saw fucking Bigfoot, like, about a month ago. And, like, on July 5th, what do you think he was doing on July 4th? He was drinking. Yes. So right. He saw Bigfoot. He didn't see Bigfoot. He just saw somebody. Or he saw nothing. But it's real fun to then find out through what is the name of it? I got to go to it because I have it collected here.
But it's also July 5th. So we're talking about like July 4th midnight hits, July 5th, 1:26 in the morning.
1:45
so,
in
like,
the morning, yeah.
Yeah, so this could be somebody leaving a party. It could easily, I mean, it's not like completely normal, but not out of the realm of possibility that somebody was in a costume of some kind leaving a 4th of July party or something,
Well, let me also tell you, Sejin, as somebody who was leaving a party, like, in the Voluntown area of Connecticut, there's a house on not 165, 130, maybe it's 138. I'm not sure the exact one, but there's that moment in Voluntown where you can go right and you stay on 165, or you go left and you go by like Buttonwood's farm and the daffodils and all of that. There's a house on that road that just has a shitload of like the Sasquatch shadows. Like those. So like, I'm like, you could have just seen one of those, right? Because they did it up for like a July 4th celebration of them. So it could just be that. But according to the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, bfro.net, Rhode Island has 5 total listings. The earliest one is September of 1974. And the most recent one is December of 2010. No, April of 2010. Not even December. It was last posted. The person shared it. The person saw Bigfoot in April of 2010 and then waited until December 2011 to post about it.
I mean, they had to wrestle with it in their mind, man. They just couldn't wrap their heads around it.
So yeah. So that's where we're at with cryptids and that. And like, Big Rhodey might be out there, but he's only been seen roughly 5 times over the past 60 or so years.
I don't know if seeing a cryptid would like break my brain or not, to be entirely honest. I guess it depends on the one, but like seeing a Bigfoot, I guess it depends on how close he is. If he was real close, my brain would probably shut down. But like, not in like a, oh my god, this can't be like this thing can't exist kind of way. Just more of a, oh my god, I'm gonna die way. But like, I don't know if seeing a Bigfoot would make me like suddenly reject my entire understanding of reality, right? Like, I don't think I would like go mad seeing a Bigfoot. It's not like a Lovecraftian like type of Cthulhu, right? like I don't know though. I don't know if there's one that would.
It's not a horror.
Pretty fucked up.
I don't know. Yeah, Mothman's one of those things. I mean, like, I've told it on the show before, but I always have to bring this up. My whimsy in this world was destroyed working at the Courthouse Center for the Arts when we were doing a tech through of a show and a light kept coming on, and I noted the cues where that light kept coming on. And then after the tech through, I said, okay, so I just need to check these 4 cues because I think I messed up while programming it. And the response from the stage manager was, oh no, that's just the ghost. And I'm like, no, it's not just the ghost. This is a tech through. The whole reason we did this was so that I could notice problems with the light and sound cues that I built for this show. And that's a problem I noticed. So now I'm going to load up the cues and see, maybe it is a ghost. Wouldn't that be something? But more than likely, when I programmed it, I accidentally set this light that's supposed to be off to have a value.
Ugh. My kingdom for a fucking creative team that shuts up during tech throughs.
But just like, it's just the ghost. And I'm like, no, it's not the ghost. I need to do it. And she's like, but I want to.
Can we do that scene 3 more times? No, we don't need to.
No, we don't. It's fine. But yeah, but then she's like, but I want to go home. And I'm like, you're still cleaning up the theater. If you didn't tell me a ghost is to blame, I could be done. I could have gone to the 4 cues, noticed that like light 20 is set to 10%, set it to 0, resave the cue, and we can be done with this. Stop telling me it's a ghost because you're lazy. And that like lazy. Very fundamentally changed my perception of why certain people blame like the supernatural or the unknown for things, because it's just an easier explanation than seeking out the truth. And it affected,
always has been.
Yeah, it always has been. But then we went on a ghost tour in New Orleans, and Will co-sign this story. And Will and Dale and Mom, it was for Dale's 21st birthday that we were in New Orleans. And we like the guy telling all these ghost stories, and every single ghost story I'm like, oh no, so he was killed by the government because he was clearly an abortion doctor. He clearly was taking care of like unwanted pregnancies for the government, and then they're like, oh man, this guy could totally sink us, we need to throw him down the stairs. like did you hear the same story I just heard? Because like all of the solutions are there as to how this guy died. It wasn't a ghost that tossed him down the stairs.
No, clearly it's vampires.
Yeah, obviously, especially in Louisiana. Hello, Sookie Stackhouse. Yeah, okay. So let's go then to Ninja Turtles, because this one is technically a longer one. NECA, during as San Diego Comic-Con, officially announced they're not doing any more Turtles, which means that the last set of Turtles that has been released is the Fortnite Ninja Turtles. And I didn't want to love them, Seijin, but I love them. They are, it's like the best articulation that I've ever seen on a NECA Ninja Turtle figure.
I mean,
like,
Fortnite is a franchise you can throw your weight behind, man.
Yeah. And like Michelangelo has joined his point of prominence in my Michelangelo shrine, and he just looks real good and he can do some things. The only other one that I've opened as of this recording is Leonardo. And Leonardo, in the box, like his accessories are hidden. Like it's an open window box, but there's like a little bit of cardboard that blocks the lower right-hand side. And I popped it out. He didn't come with his scabbards, the sword holder for the back. So like, I'm like, well, damn it. Luckily, Target, they're taking care of it. They're going to just ship me out a new one. And they're like, and you can just donate or do whatever you want with the other one. So extra Leonardo, who can't hold his swords except for in his hands, which is pretty good. Raphael has been a bit of a journey. I had all of them ordered to pick up at the same Target. And then I got, this one's not available, this one's not available, this one's not available. But we could give you 2 Michelangelos. That's not a problem. So then I got to find a Leo, a Donnie, and a Raphael. Donatello, I find at a location. Leonardo, I find at a place. I can go pick them up, and they're confirmed for pickup. Raphael, I literally bounced through every Target in like a 50-mile radius. Where like, well, if it's not at that store, hold him at this store. Until Worcester, right? It always comes back to Worcester with me, Seijin, doesn't it? They had him. And I finally completed the thing. And that's when I'm like, I can finally open up someone besides Michelangelo. Pop open Leonardo, motherfucker. But, so I co-sign those. And they also did like the Neighborhood Dudes thing. But those were available for pre-order. They were showing up in stores a little bit before the Fortnite ones. So I do consider Fortnite, unless they do something else that's a surprise. But they did say that Tempestra is going to be their last teen like Toon Turtle figure. So, and she's not coming out till November. So I don't know if they'll be able to do anything else. The Neighborhood Dudes are kind of interesting because they're all in like costumes. And Michelangelo specifically looks like he looks in the second printing of the Michelangelo Micro series. Like it's really good. Plus that Michelangelo comes with all the parts to turn it into Donatello. Same as like Sailor Raphael comes with parts to turn it into Sailor Leonardo. Why they don't all just come with the parts to turn them into every turtle, I don't understand. But, hey, that's for me, right? It comes with 4 heads. Maybe there's 4 turtles, right, Seijin? Last time I checked. Yeah, so just a little bit weird what they're doing there. But, pretty good articulation on them. But the Fortnite one's big. But I also received, it's licensed from Heat Boys. They're a Chinese company. Their Leonardo figure. It is the most articulated figure I have ever had. And the reason I bring that up is because Heat Boys just put up for pre-order their Michelangelo in the line. And having played with the Leonardo and like put him into all sorts of poses, he came with his scabbards, unlike my Fortnite Leonardo. I recommend the line. It's difficult because it's an import figure and things like that, but he's a big, burly looking dude. It's awesome. Like, I'm so happy that I like took a chance on this Heat Boy Ninja Turtle thing. It's about 8 inches tall, and like he can get into any pose I want. Like, he actually has torso articulation, and the shell can be moved out of the way so you can pose and then put the shell back on. Like, yeah, I got this. I'm having some good Ninja Turtle stuff. Also, 2 more episodes of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles have aired, which confirmed my theory that Raph's goo, like ooze size, are called the ooze shields. He called them that in an episode. That made me feel pretty good. We've introduced April, who is a composite of April from the 2012 show, the Rise of the show, and the Mutant Mayhem. She is the last 3 Aprils all slammed into one, and she's a little baby. She's fantastic. I'm so happy with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And it does seem that it's a new episode every Friday and Saturday, roughly around 10 a.m. So, like, if you're interested in 4-Minute Ninja Turtles, there you go. Good Ninja Turtle stuff, right? Yay, I love Ninja Turtles. Also, the 300th issue released this past month, and I finally got my hands on that. Haven't read it yet, but I'll have that to talk about next episode. Final thing to talk about is the decomp recomp PC port of a game that I've been waiting for has finally happened, Sejan. Do you want to take a guess of what N64 game I was feverishly waiting to get the PC port treatment?
Glover.
No, I hate Glover. Glover knows what he fucking did, and I will make sure that he never forgets. I just sent you a link in the Discord because I'm just so happy about it, and I'd kind of want you to check it out too.
Golden Balloon?
Yep.
What even is?
Diddy Kong Racing, my friend.
Oh.
Yeah. Full widescreen, 60 FPS. The game is butter smooth. And even though like the GitHub is like, there's some issues with the full adventure mode, I have completed Adventure 1, everything except for the last trophy race. And that's just I didn't have time to do it before we were going to record. But I've beaten WizPig 2. So that means I got all the TT stuff. I unlocked Drumstick. It's very playable. Like right now, I cannot wait for like people to update the assets and make things look better and like actually affect the graphics. But it is 60 FPS widescreen. It handles like a dream. I just love Diddy Kong Racing. Like that's what I have to say. That's my nostalgia for the N64. And it probably stems from the fact that it was the first game I got with my Nintendo 64. But like, it is something that I've always kept coming back to. And to like finally play it like crisp and 60 FPS. Oh god, it just felt good. I did everything as Pipsy. I haven't done everything as Pipsy since I like, well, that's not true. I was going to say since I was a kid. No, because as a kid, I did everything as Pipsy. As an adult, I started switching to Crunch when I had to beat the Walrus. Because even if I don't look at the screen, I can beat the Walrus as Crunch. He's the Kremlin character. But nice. Yeah, there's some crazy stuff happening with these recompilations, like taking old games, bringing them down to their code, and then rebuilding them for like PC use. I also got an AYM Thor, which I would love to talk more about. I just have not put in enough time with it yet.
Okay.
So that thing it's a dual screen Android thing that can, I mean, it can emulate up to Switch. Like, I'm not doing that, by the way. I'm only emulating systems that are not available anymore, right? Because
wink,
what is
nudge,
the alternative? No, but like I've watched, like the setup guide was like, if you want to set up your thing for Switch, you can watch this part. If not, skip to the next section. And I'm like, this thing can handle Switch? And I'm like, finally, I can play my Switch games on the go? I looked at the camera. That was a fun moment for me. But yeah, so I've just been having some adventures with these type of games, and I'm really excited for the actual recompilation of the PlayStation version of Symphony of the Night to be like, it's out there and people are beta testing it, but it hasn't had a public release yet. Maybe it has. In fact, I kind of want to check before I say goodbye to this. Big Rhodey, get off my screen, you 40-ounce drinking monster man. Symphony of the Night. Recomp. Let's see.
You think he drives a Dodge Ram?
Oh, no. He probably drives a Pinto, let's be honest. So it does not look like the PS1 recomp it's been talked about, but there has not been an official release yet for other people to use. But it's coming. Like the top speed runners and runners of the game are testing it to make sure. And there are some issues. Like I'll say the Diddy Kong Racing, 2 of the levels do not tell you their name. Fossil Canyon? No, I don't know the name of that one. The fossil level in the Dino World is called GJ for some reason. Like, good job. You beat the first race. Now you're in the second race. And then the pirate, like, area of the water level does not have its name there. I don't know why. But, like, playable. There's some issues with the widescreen, like having some text off center. But again, I was able to play through the entire game. And my next thing is I'm going to try to unlock TT because as you do, right? I'm going to do all the time trials on 20
TT's
tracks.
The little time clock.
He's
right?
the clock, yeah. Where you have to, the dumbest thing, you have to beat the time that the game starts with. But then, like, you don't want to beat it by too much because then that unlocks TT's time. And then you have to beat TT's time. And even if you've beaten TT's time before, it doesn't count. So, like, yeah, it's 1990s video games. That's all I can say about it. But yes, I think that's everything I want. I mean, there's other stuff I want to talk about, obviously. Spider-Man 9, which will be a focal point of the next episode, methinks.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Especially with everything that's going on right now, talking about it. So we'll have Spider-Man 9. We'll have some more shows. I'll definitely have watched more Cape Crusader. By then, like, I'm happy I got the first episode in because I knew you would have started it, and I'm jealous that you've watched more because that first one was just electric. But is there anything else you want to make sure that we talk about this episode before we get you out of here, bud?
Nah, let's wrap this one up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for listening to the Say Report, the show about everything. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can join our Discord. Invitations to join are available wherever we are on social media, which as of this recording is still Facebook and X, formerly Twitter. Navigate to our page, go to the About section, you'll see a Discord link. Click on that, and you can join the fun. If you're not on social media, which we get for obvious reasons, becoming more and more obvious each day, you can always send an email to us, thesayreport@gmail.com, where we can facilitate you with a link to join the Discord, or you can just communicate with us. It's an email address. It's thesayreport@gmail.com. Send us your thoughts, your hopes, your dreams. If it's for me, Devon Decker, or for him, Stephen Sarwick, just make sure you put our name in the subject line, and it'll be distributed appropriately. Just remember that if you say something to me that I'm like, oh my God, I want to talk to Sujin about this on the show, you know, kind of like Bigfoot. This was not an email, but like, it's just as an example, right? Like, if you know more about Big Rhodey, we want to hear from you. But if you only want to say it to me because I'm the more incredulous one, and if you can sell me to talk to Sejin, the big point of this is just anything you submit could wind up in a future episode of the Say Report. Just keep that in mind. In fact, keep that in mind for anything you put on the internet. Not that it could wind up in a future episode of the Say Report, but like, other people can see it and then can create content from it. This is the world we currently live in August of 2026. So just keep it in mind. All of that, please. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode. We will see you next time. And William, it is a red sun at night. It's the Krypton's delight, brother. Bring us home. Later.
Thank you for listening to the Say Report with your host Devon Decker and Stephen Sarwick. Please follow the guys on Twitter and Facebook by searching for The Say Report, and you can always subscribe on your podcast channel so this is delivered straight to you and you can enjoy it every week. With apologies to your mother, we'll see you next time.